Thank you so much. And as I told you, we move on to we are sticking to the same region, but in a different context, and we're speaking about different countries. The frontier markets, which are we are exploring the gambling evolution of Central and Eastern Europe's growth economies. Petr Kozak will take on the lead as moderator, and we have plenty of people joining him on the stage.
Thank you, Zoltan. So I'm back here. Hello, today. To be honest, I was asked by Zoltan by sudden to moderate this panel. In fact, I'm not very familiar with those markets from Romania, Bulgaria, and Croatia, but doesn't matter because I have a great experts. Yeah. Yes, I will learn now. Yeah, I will play a kind of a curious guy who wants to enter the market and what should I know. And I'm glad to have some experts here who will guide me through this. I want to invite ladies first. So Alina from Simeon Paciu. Dan, I really don't need to introduce because you know him very well right now. I have Miloslav Ivanov from Bulgaria and Damir Hasakovic as slots manager and from Croatian Gambling Association. And as we are the final panel before the lunch, which is always the most popular because everyone is like thinking a little bit about food. So we will jump right into, and as I said, ladies first. So we will focus. My first focus I will spotlight on Romanian market, as we have been discussing like during the whole morning. There are some significant changes in Romania, especially with some legislative changes that happened in October last year. So if I'm, especially from the point of view that I'm newcomer on this market and I don't know very much about the situation, what are the most significant things that I should know right now?
Yeah, so thank you. It's a real pleasure to be part of this panel and to see you all here. Well, if I'm talking about the Romanian market, I don't even know where to begin. So the past year has been a stormy one. We had major changes. First of all, the Romanian government wanted to reduce the budgetary deficit and increase the level of tax collection. And of course, this has resulted in major increases in taxes and guarantees for both B2C and B2B operators. Another change was introduced in the gambling regime for B2C online operators, consisting in that in order to continue operating on the Romanian market, so I'm speaking about online casinos and online sports betting, you need to have either a locally established company or to register a permanent establishment for tax purposes. This means that besides the already authorization tax based on GGR, you have to pay also corporate tax. We had changes in the advertising regime. For example, we have a new restriction introduced saying that any advertising materials could not exceed 35 square meters in size, and this has been enacted and enforced the same day in which the law was published in the official gazette, and everybody had billboards throughout the cities, and the very same day they were breaching the law. We have now several legislative proposals aiming at changing the gambling advertising and also the land-based sector. For example, we have one legislative piece saying that all retail shops in the land-based sector should be moved out to the outskirts of the localities, including Bucharest. And we have several legislative pieces aiming at changing the gambling advertising in various forms, either to a complete ban of any outdoor advertising or online advertising, or introducing restrictions in terms of, I don't know, how to broadcast TV advertising only during one-time interval, for the advertising to be accompanied by RG-specific messages and this type of restrictions. All in all, I think we never get bored.
Oh, I can see. That's a really stormy,
Yeah.
really stormy period of time.
Yes.
So now, if I will be a newcomer, I will have to doubt a little bit for a while if I want to enter or not. Or would you recommend to just jump in because it can get worse, or just you will recommend to wait a little bit because you are expecting something getting better?
I would expect that things will get better. We have elections this summer, and once the gambling advertising will be toned down, and I believe it will be, because come on, money comes first when it comes to the Romanian government. So I do not expect, my personal feeling, for example, is that we will not have a complete ban on advertising. But I do expect things to settle down and to become more predictive and more clear. And one of the reactions that I saw on the market is that operators continue to remain. So we do not have any strong feelings about the exit of the market due to these changes, but on the contrary, we still see operators, both B2C and B2B, which are interested in the market, because it's a market with a huge potential in terms of players. Yeah.
What was especially interesting to me, it's just like I can say at least a bit strange, that's the obligatory establishment, because within the EU it's not just a very natural thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the EU freedom of services, but I mean, EU companies are still allowed to enter the market. They only have to register a permanent establishment for tax purposes, which I believe it was already the case in other countries in the European market. So now the Romanian government has basically found a solution to the fact that prior to 2023, gambling operators, online gambling operators in Romania did not have to pay any corporate tax. They only had to pay the license and authorization fees related to the gambling activities, but no income, no tax on income. So basically, this has been an approach to align the market and to force operators to also pay corporate tax deriving from gambling revenues conducted on the Romanian territory.
Okay, and do the operators get along with this, especially the new taxes and guarantees and so on, or they are leaving the market?
To the best of my knowledge, only one operator is contemplating the idea of leaving the market. But I mean, it's not very good news when taxes are increased. This is the very first question that one is asked when somebody wishes to enter a market. What are the taxes? And of course, as I have mentioned before, the increase is rather significant, but the market has a rather significant potential. So, I mean, it's about finding the right balance, I think.
Yeah, I think the situation is everywhere, maybe everywhere almost the same, because taxes are rising. Also in the Czech Republic, we had a quite significant rising of the taxes from this year. So. When we compare it in Bulgaria, it seems like everything is sunny and shiny and everybody is happy, or isn't it like this?
Yeah, it seems to be like this, because what we discussed even before the panel, it seems that Romania is getting tough when we talk about regulations. What's happening in Bulgaria is that, for example, the license fees, the taxations are growing as well. They actually multiply them by 4 times, like early this year. But when you look into the market presence, the people are still there, they remain being active, and this is specifically for the online gambling. Casinos, the land base is the same, not that tough as what you described in Romania.
I mean, it's not that tough.
Yeah.
They have We
Yeah, but
increase the
like,
taxes. But
for example, like we used to
Oh.
talk like across the street, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can find like a couple of casinos when you go to Sofia, for example, which I think is not the case in Romania. So a bit more free, if you ask me, but I don't see anyone being taken off from the market. I don't see anyone, being impacted of the increase of the license fees, of the taxation as well. Because when they started discussing this, it was actually a very good mechanism where they bring some revenue to the budget for 2024, and that's how the political part of the people there did it. It was very much shocking when you read it because you multiply it 4 times, but looks like the guys are stable who are being on their market there. Like looks like that the people still do what they did till before, and this is also like these taxes are being applied to people like newcomers to the market, and also for the people who still are there, like who were there before the change.
And yeah, the market is stable, so you have the subject as already are, or the market is somehow like a booming for past years, just like many more newcomers, or even like new services appearing.
I think it's more of a newcomers, to be honest. Like you can see a lot of advertisement going around as well, something which is not that much limited. There are also legislations which you need to follow, but every now and then you can see this on the TV, on the sports shows, on the billboards outside of the streets, even casinos promoting their online business. So it's something which is, my personal feeling is that's still about to bloom and it's still about to grow there.
And do you expect some, because it's around Europe slightly, it's the advertising restrictions are moving, maybe we can say they're moving east? Yeah. So
I'll
do
tell you,
expect
like, we were talking with him, like, we are always the last maybe to apply such things when we talk Europe, which might be beneficial, might be not that much beneficial. When you talk about being strict towards restrictions, legislation and stuff like that, we utilize till the end actually the timing until they apply to our territories there. But from another perspective, I think that's the right approach. Like there should be like more strict legislation. You have to be in a position from a government perspective to control these things, to make sure that youngsters are not being, so much involved into this in a bad way, of course. And I think it should be controlled to somehow.
Okay, yeah. And comparing this, like I can say, correct me if I'm wrong, the Bulgaria and the Romania, like a comparison to the Croatia, the bigger market. Yeah. So now, how big is the market in Croatia? Can you just give us some average overview of how many operators and how the situation is going? Because I don't know from the top of my head.
Croatia is small market. We have 22 casinos, land-based, and we have 360 automat clubs, slot halls, however you call them, and we have 1,300 betting shops. This is 3 or 4 different types of gambling allowed in Croatia. One is lottery, which is only dedicated to Croatian lottery. So Croatian is small market, I will say. In total, lately informations, we know about 14,000 slot machines in total with electronic roulettes, when we are speaking about land-based business. And a few days ago, we have 10th online casino. So we have 9 operators, and the boom was, of course, with COVID start, with much more openings. 4 casinos opened, I think, during COVID period. What is specifically for Croatia, you cannot open online casino business if you don't have a land-based casino. And you can have only a land-based casino if you have your company in Croatia. So this is what is specifically for Croatia. And we have this association, Croatian Gaming Association, which is, how they say, maybe trying to logistically cooperate with the Ministry of Finance. We are I will say, fighting in the end. Now we are in front of the elections in Croatia, so we are fighting to keep this way, because there were a lot of investments in Croatia in land-based casinos just to open the market for like this, you know. You need to follow up and invest in land-based or buy some of the existing operators and then extend your business to online.
What do you expect from the new elections upcoming? Where is it going to happen?
It will be now in April, and it was really fast decided that they dismissed the existing government, but some predictions are that we will keep the same government, and just the day when the government was dismissed, Minister of Finance announced that we were working on new changes in the existing law, which is pretty strict, and it's changing only regarding the addiction on gambling, responsible gambling, and EML, money laundering.
Yeah, and then we were talking, well, we heard a lot about like rising taxes. How's the situation in your country? Because you
at the moment there is no no word about changing any taxes, because we are paying licenses yearly, fixed amounts for casinos and in automat clubs per playing station, and obligatory is to have 30 playing stations in every automat club. So the prices were before in kuna. This is the change we had from January 23. We switched from Croatian kuna to euro, so the prices are still just recalculated by the exchange factor of 7.
So this switch to euro didn't change the situation and the market situation?
It's changed a little bit price of the game, and it's changed. Some prices were around it, of course, and it increased the cost of everything. Yeah. But the amounts paid for the government, for a budget, stayed the same at the moment. Yeah.
That's how it started in Bulgaria. Everything was calm, and they started talking about how they will get some more money out of this industry. So yeah, I think it might be very much similar what will happen there.
We were commenting even before that this is the rule which we will adopt. We are just reacting to the changes on European market, Western European. So it is coming to our Eastern European countries, yeah.
But the changes that you are now talking about in the gambling legislation as part of the elections process do not envisage any changes in taxes, right?
At the moment,
no.
There is no word about that. Yeah,
Okay.
only speaking about advertising, about some other things, but nothing regarding putting additional money in the budget.
Yeah, the advertising
the increase in the budget when we switched to the euro was almost 30%, from 200 million euros to 300 million in the budget. And briefly, just from the casino.
The advertising was the last, not the last, but now for now the last thing that I wanted to hear from you. How's that? Because I think it's quite liberal still. It's just
still
like
liberal. Yeah, we don't have any restrictions at the moment, but there are words that it should be changed, and that it will be allowed only in some exact hours. Let's say from 10 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock in the morning. On the televisions, radios will be totally banned, and only exception is 15 minutes before some matches, sports matches, which goes live on TV, and 15 minutes after these matches will be allowed to gambling industry to be announced. But with exception, at the moment, sponsorships are allowed, and I saw some operators already, how they say, start to taking advantage of this. For example, you know, on the television there is some movie or series, and in the background goes, this movie was allowed by this and this casino.
Okay, and what interests me very much also, like not even from the operator's point of view, but also from the point of view of the suppliers, how is the situation on your markets with introducing the new products, for example? if you want to take the word, I have a special question for you, because now in the Czech Republic, the live dealer games introduction is moving and everybody is interested how the situation will develop, because we have the specific situation. We were describing it yesterday, that it has to be fixed. It's connected to the land-based casino premises and other special things. And I have heard that it's like for some time it's already allowed, but nobody is operating the live dealer. Is it right or not?
As I have information, there is no restrictions about this, but our operator, I can say openly, Novomatic, which is the biggest one, land-based, already prepared the room for live dealers to go online, but they are waiting for permission to be allowed. And as government is dismissed at the moment, I think they will need to wait a little bit more.
And what about the others, like new products introduction? Because what I am asking, because in the Czech Republic it's quite tough, yeah, especially when it's something we are talking about the new, when you are on ice and you see like new, for example, skill games and so on, and when it does not fit the law, it's very hard, almost impossible to introduce the new products, and it always like make the people run away to offshore or to illegal sites and casinos and so on.
I think it's like what you're describing. Like it's when something is out of like being organized, controlled, and being legal, so to say, it's very hard to announce it and then to make it approachable for the audience and for the players, because this is like you have to be very much. It should be very much hidden in order to not get the attention from the government to do something like this, which is totally going to gray and black part of the market, which nobody wants to have there. But when it comes in regards to new products and new type of games, whenever they can fall under the control of the legislation that we currently have, markets being very open for this. They are open to accept any kind of new things which are coming. I'm not sure that I can name some for the country lately, because I'm not sure I saw something very much different from before. What I can share is that from advertisement perspective, there is a boom there. So there are a lot of announcements on the TV, on the billboards outside. So this is something which drives the attention lately, which is happening the most. Yeah.
For Romania, I can say that it is definitely the market is definitely interested. I mean the players, and when it comes to launching new products on the market, we have a process in place. So every new games need to be priorly approved by the Romanian National Gambling Office. So if you do not have the regulator's approval, you cannot launch the games on the website. And as part of the regulator's responsibilities in this process is that any time a game is falling outside the game categories which are expressly regulated by law, it has the power to decide the new type of the game. But I must say that this does not happen in practice.
Yeah, that was I wanted to ask, if they're willing to do it or not.
They are not, I couldn't say that they are not willing to do it, but I could say that they are lacking the necessary expertise in order to define the type of the new game, which falls outside the law. So we have been experienced, for example, in my personal practice, practical experience, I've been in the process of launching new products for the Romanian market, and we were asked questions by the regulator: in which type of the already regulated categories does these new games fall? So they are requesting your feedback in order to make their own assessment.
Okay.
If I just may add, now we can see that you are missing some association, gaming association, like we start in Croatia, where all operators could cooperate with Ministry of Finance or regulators and give their expertise, advices and help them to categorize the games or things.
Yeah, we can highly recommend it. We have it in Czech Republic also, and it works very well. Do you have something like in Bulgaria? Or?
Like, yeah, you have to, very much similar actually to what she described, you have to make sure that you get the scope right and you have an active conversation. So based on such scope, it falls under a specific category, but the regulation there is open to discuss, and similar talks to what Olin is saying. It's like not all the time the regulator will be 100% sure which new product will fall under which category. So it's like an open conversation that you can have, and you can actually shake hands in the end and understand where it should go.
Okay, yes, I saw some movement because I really wanted to give you some time to relax, because as I know you are still like in some panels, so floor is yours. Sorry.
Thank you. You are very kind. Thank you. No, first, I would like to answer. We do have associations in Romania. We have some very strong, and we have a confederation of associations, which are the three biggest associations united in a confederation. But the problem, to answer directly to the question, the problem is that the regulator, and I used to be also on the regulator side sometime, is that if you do not provide, if the company, the provider, the solution provider does not bring all the necessary information in order to the regulator to understand exactly how it works, the new game, and in which category it will fall, it's not, they are afraid of accepting such a new game, because if they do not understand exactly what is it about. So by that time we asked also to come to discuss with us and to present exactly what do you want to do with this, and to understand the process of the system of the new game. This is the short answer. And regarding the Romanian market, I would like to stress the fact that the National Gambling Office is gathering a lot of millions of euro from the so-called responsible gambling projects. And during the last 6-7 years, they kept all this money in their pocket and do nothing with them. So we are talking about more than 10 million euros, imagine. On the other hand, we do have another association, speaking about associations, which is called exactly like this, Responsible Gambling Association, with an annual budget of €250,000 euros. All the money are coming from the operator side, and we are doing a lot of projects, including 24/7 helpline, trained psychologists, of course a website, a self-assessment system. We even pay for evaluation in psychology cabinets. And we went several times, a dozen times, to the National Gambling Office and proposed to cooperate, to collaborate, to hand over. We don't want their money to us, to our association, in order to do our projects. We will just give them all the know-how, the turnkey project, just take it and bring it forward. And they are doing nothing. And now, imagine what? The government increased the responsible gambling tax by 10 times or something like this.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, they said the state budget will take 70% of this money from the National Gambling Office. I have no comments on this.
Whoa. Yes. That's what to say. Yeah.
Ask Alina, please.
I don't know what to say either.
Seems
I
like
don't-
they'll put more money in the bag that you were mentioning.
Exactly, yes. They need a lot of money to the deficit, to the state deficit, and now they put in the instrument to increase the tax and take the money. It's immoral, it's, I don't know.
I mean, you know, they have to put together by the end of this month that database of self-excluded and undesirable persons, and maybe they will allocate some part of that money
A few thousand euros.
Any money invested in RG is
Unofficially,
good money.
unofficially, I know that the Ministry of Finance, under which the gambling office is now acting, specifically stopped every investment. So they are not able, not only the National Gambling Office, every investment in order to keep the state deficit under a certain level. So they are absolutely crazy. We will have general elections. And what also Alina mentioned, we have several more stupid initiatives in the parliament, because, you know, the politicians from different parties, they realize that if they talk about gambling, they immediately attract the public attention. So there is a competition between those parties, how to prohibit, how to terminate the gambling industry. One party said you're allowed to put a gambling facility 300 meters from any school, kindergarten, and so on. The other party said, no, it's 200 meters. 300 is too much. And the third party said, no, 150 meters.
In Croatia, it's 500 meters.
And the other party said, no gambling halls in cities, but to the outskirts of any localities. So, yeah.
Exactly. And the
That's
biggest
the situation now.
All of them are
So
sitting in the parliament, yeah.
I'm competing with Alina, and the other proposal is to kick out every gambling facility outside of small cities or villages with less than 15,000 inhabitants. So practically, it's a stupid game with the state deficit growing in absurd numbers. They want to kill the cash cow for the state budget just in order to attract more votes from the general public. That's my final.
Yeah, that's a pity, but
it seems like we have the same politicians because same things happening.
I'm afraid all of us, we have the same. Yeah. But you touched a few points. What I wanted to stress also, it was the first, we were talking about how the communication that is important for the regulator, for example, to understand what you want and so on. How is going the communication with the regulator in your country? Is it like they are more open to communicate, or they are just a closed door and no one is answering?
In Romania, the regulators' doors are always open. So if you have anything that you wish to discuss, including launching of new products, they are always open to discuss, including any issues with the investigations that they conduct regularly on operators, and any issues with players' complaints or anything like that. So they are fully open to discuss anything. We do not have any issues.
You agree?
At least,
Yes. It's the standard behavior, and it's good. Although not necessarily every time operators will get the best solution, but at least they can talk to a real person, they can find their point of view, and they can adapt, yes, with the help of beautiful lawyers to go and have their problems solved.
Yeah, that's positive. Like, so newcomers, you see. Just the regulator is open to communicate. And what about Bulgaria or Croatia? It's also like
It's
easy?
very much open, it's easy, but I would not say that it's that much active. Like, doors are kept open. You can always go and ask for advice and anything, but not 100% of a feedback you'll be receiving, which is, I would say, the issue nowadays with this. But relatively open to meet and talk, but not that very much active that I guess the industry expects them to be. Because this is something which is growing. It's like an industry which is changing even maybe hours. And I guess the input from their side, from the regulation side, should be very much active. They should be the people who are like everywhere and not proactively staying there in an office and waiting for answers and people to approach them. Because that's one of the tools, and it's a great tool if you ask me to control the market, to control what's happening, and the end users, the bettors in the end, to feel safe.
And what about, yes?
I will say in Croatia is pretty same the situation. I will say it improved a lot last 5 years, because before 5 years it was situation that you come with a question without answers, or they answer something but did totally opposite, and now there are lots of improvements, and with good cooperation with them, I think we are receiving a lot of answers.
Or answer something that is completely different that you are asking for. Yes, that's also. And what about the speed? Because in our country, a lot of subjects are complaining about like that.
A lot of paperwork, and it's not so.
If you are waiting, for example, for the procedures or for the answers, like months, or it's just they are more swift with with communication.
Slowly changes, adapting changes.
Yeah. And the other thing you have mentioned, it's the responsible gaming tools and restrictions and so on, and what tools? Yeah, let's say tools in Romania. And what about in Bulgaria? I absolutely have no idea how the responsible gambling is evolving in here. If it's already in place?
Yeah, it is already in place, no matter it's not that much visible. Like you'll be maybe seeing it on advertisement in a very small letters being somewhere, and by law you're obliged to say that it might be addictive, so it should go like 18 plus. I think there is a huge room of improvement there to be done. Like people have to be much more criticized, I guess, for this, so that they're not actively doing it. And I trust that this should be more and more visible, because now I don't feel like responsible gambling is everywhere. Like I feel it like, yes, it's there, it's somewhere like in the wording, somewhere pointed, like if you search for it, you'll find it, but it's not an active approach. It's not something that it should be like all the other markets, most probably like different from ours, or maybe different from Romania, because I know that's you got it very much better. So I think we can learn a lot from the north and what's happening there, and implement like it's very easy to implement such practices, because they're done. They're like you can just go there, see it, check it, and implement it. And all the associations, as you mentioned, like they can talk in between each other, and they can just share best practices. It's something. There is a huge room of improvement. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's right. That's the difference between what is just written somewhere that is addicted or something. But the question is if even the operators are actively doing something. Do you have in Croatia, for example, within your gambling association, some kind of initiatives in this area?
In our association, we are also financing a helpline phone, and on the television is obligatory to have this small 18 plus and these things.
A small dot somewhere.
Small dots, yeah, you know. There is, I think, by the rule, some font what is obligatory, and of course everybody using the minimum what they can. And at the moment, in new changes, we are speaking about database of self-exclusion. At the moment is, I will say, on every individual operator, internal paperwork what we are doing, and you know, if you have customer who self-excluded himself from your casino, he can go to anybody else casino. So it's not.
So it's not central.
It's not central at the moment, and of course, when they want to play, they just go to the other side of the street and find another operator if they want. So at the moment, we are speaking to make national database of this and to put this under the authority of Croatian Health Ministry. Because if you have problem with addiction, they will mark you as addicted person and put some ban to global database. Yeah.
And you have the centralized like register of excluded
It's,
persons.
uh,
Yes?
Not
we
yet.
should have it.
Yeah, we should
should.
have it by the end
law.
of March.
Yes, but it's end of March, yes?
Yes,
Yeah,
end of March, yeah.
And
We should
for,
have
for
it,
the
but
moment, no, it's silent. But there is another aspect in Romania. I don't know about Bulgaria and Croatia, but in Romania, you're not obliged to identify yourself entering a brick and mortar casino. Not casino, a slot hall. In casinos, it's mandatory, but in slot, but we only have one casino, I think, running.
now, yes.
It's only one in Bucharest, so it's very easy. But for
We had 3, but
Yes.
now we only have one.
But to enter in slot halls or in betting shops, you're not obliged to identify yourself. So it will be either it will be a change in the regulation in order to oblige every operator to identify, or there will be room for misinterpretation, for abuse. For example, I will go to an online casino, self-exclude myself, and immediately enter a brick and mortar betting shop and announce the National Gambling Office, hey, listen, they didn't stop me, take their license or something like this. So it has to be accommodated with the existing regulation, which is not visible for the moment. I don't know what they are doing.
We have a legal text which has been enacted in October, saying that land-based operators need to notify the Romanian National Gambling Office within 2 days of any self-exclusion requests that they receive. And if we put this together with the responsibility of the office to set up the national database of self-excluded persons, then we might say that the intention is to centralize this list so as not to encounter cases that Dan mentioned.
Yeah, thank you. That's
We
quite
have copy-paste of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with the suggestion of changing law. It will be obligatory to identify yourself entering any land-based premises, and with 2 days of informing when database will be created to every operator, and that you will be then informed.
I'm afraid we are slowly running out of time. We have the advantage that it's only lunch, so we are not blocking anybody from going there and speak, so we can continue. But no, there's a lot I wanted to ask again, and that was illegal gambling, for example, also the situation in your countries. But I think let's just a short points that what is your experience and your country fight against illegal gambling, because when you are rising taxes and so on, that's usually make illegal gambling stronger, is it?
I think the authorities in Romania were very effective on diminishing the illegal online gambling. We have payment blocking, even the players, if they are catched playing on an illegal site, are subject of criminal activity. And the National Gambling Office has a special bureau which is taking care of illegal sites, which are mushrooming, by the way, but they are keeping this. And there is also a blacklist of unlicensed, published on the National Gambling Office website, a blacklist of unlicensed operators. So people should be aware, playing only on the licensed operators, licensed website, and not going to the unlicensed one.
You think they could really easily recognize it, and the blacklist is so easily accessible?
Yeah,
so
it's online. It's easily. We have also the so-called white list. So
Yes,
the
yes,
licensed
yes.
operators, the online are only 30, 31.
34.
Yes, but 3 of them were just
removed?
closed.
Yeah.
Yes, closed the business recently because of the warranty. You mentioned the warranty, which goes up to €1 million, which is tough for a small online operator, and also for land-based operators is tough. €1 million. So we see some changes in the market for land-based operators. Some of them are closing the business, few of them. Others are going together and to have this money. But there is a small provision in the regulation that instead of providing a letter of warranty from a bank, you can provide an insurance, yes, for that million. By this time, there is no insurance company which provide this, but we are searching, we as an association, and we are searching to a system in order to make it possible. This would be a little bit more easy for smaller operators to see how they put down this letter of warranty or insurance. Regarding the black market, coming to your question, for the land-based, there are many control activities around the country. It's in the interest of the licensed operators to notify the National Gambling Office if next to them there is an illegal site. So I think that it's also kept to a very, very low level, the black market on the land-based in Romania.
Good.
To add to what Dan mentioned regarding illegal gambling, besides publishing the blacklist and the whitelist, the regulator also blocks through internet services providers all the websites which are on the blacklist. So this is an extra measure so that players will not have access to those websites.
And comparing to strict Romanian market or stricter, your more, so to say, liberal countries, do you
Same
find,
thing.
do you
We
find
have blacklist and only 9 from a few days ago. 10 casinos which are on whitelist. As I remember, 547 different links were blocked illegally. But of course, with VPN connections and things like this, we are not managing to stop illegal market, and we are asking help of Croatian National Bank to follow up payouts and pay-ins in different casinos and to block these sections.
And do you find the problem in your country? Is it significant problem, or it's just like somewhere on the
I think it's somewhere under the carpet, to be honest. Like there is a blacklist there as well, which is something that we rely on. When you talk about like whatever he said, like using a VPN, you can always access any kind of a black market website from anywhere. I'm not aware if there is a mechanism, so to my knowledge, I don't think there is such which can help to reduce such things. But in regards land-based properties, it's pretty much the same. Like it's in everyone's actually favor to go and report if there is something illegally happening next door, because they're losing clients, they're losing business actually like this. So it's mechanics which are used, I guess, across the globe to make sure that they control the business and they control the black part of it in a way that it's efficient, using, of course, the existing players on the market.
Okay, and before we just move to lunch room, just some questions from the audience. Yes.
Hi guys, you mentioned Croatia adopting the euro and changes in the market. Miro, as a fellow Bulgarian myself, I want to ask you, as a company in the industry, can you give us outlook from the inside the industry? What is expected from Bulgaria adopting the euro from next year?
I don't think that it will be a huge difference, to be honest, like because we have the know-how from the countries around us who already are part of the already adopted the euro and they're using it. There will be, I guess, a slight change into the pricing, but I personally don't expect something huge. Like it's a lesson learned from across the region there, so I don't think from industry perspective this will be any kind of a huge impact. At least I don't think there is.
Bulgarian lev is half euro, is it? One Bulgarian lev is half euro, the exchange ratio. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's attached to like the board. Like we have to, it cannot change. Like.
Yeah, but only when you are speaking about price of game. If you have 0.01 as minimum lev, now when you switch to euro, it will double up the prices. You know. But don't worry, people will adapt very fast. So this is our experience.
Okay, I also have one question. Thank you very much for a very interesting discussion. And my question is about your experience, because all the markets, all 3 countries open up in last decade, for speaking about online gambling, for instance. So how you see the portion of, let's say, like domestic operators comparing to the global players, which potentially enter the market? So it's dominated by domestic operators, or how successful are global players on your markets, and what are the reasons why they are successful or are not successful? Thank you.
In Bulgaria, I think that's pretty much dominated by domestic operators, the market itself. Serbia, an example, is not the same. Like, we all know what happened with Flutter and the dominance there. But reason being, in my understanding, is that there was a lot of such business beforehand, before it was legalized, and before all the tools being implemented to control it. What's happening now is that if there are small operators, no matter land-based or online operators, they'll get acquired in between each other, so they put themselves in a position like getting 2-3 small operators, and they start being like one of the big fishes on the market. And this is like putting them in a situation where they still keep being there. They invest into this market, and then they develop it, I guess, in a very nice manner.
In Romania, if I may, there is an equilibrium between local and big international operators, both on online and but especially on online and offline also. We do have large big operators like Betano, Unibet, and also local businesses like Superbet and others. So Alina, if you have something to add on this.
I very much agree with you. I was about to say that we have an equilibrium balance between domestic and foreign, both in online and land-based, yeah.
And as I said, in Croatia, all operators are local because you need to have land-based operations. So.
Thank you, and thanks for the questions also. Are you hungry, or no, you don't seem so, so can we continue? Or
Are you hungry?
No. If I were hungry, it was already over.
This is the final question, yes?
So final question, or some final word?
I'm hungry.
Okay, that's now it's clear. That's a clear statement. I want to thank you. That was a really very pleasant discussion. Yeah, because I came here just don't know what will happen. That was really fine and very nice. So thank you all. Thank Damir, Milos, Alina, and Dani. Thank you. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you all, guys, and thank you, Zoltan.